Hello there, and welcome back to the Life at Disney podcast. Here we pull back the curtain and give you a peek inside working at the Walt Disney Company. I'm your host, Steven. As you know, this season of Life at Disney, we've gone global. In this week's episode, we're headed south to Buenos Aires, Argentina, to learn more about the Disney journey of our first guest, Eliana. She's a senior manager with data science, and in her role, Eliana turns everyday information into pivotal business solutions for our streaming services. Thanks for joining us all the way from Buenos Aires, Eliana.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
One day you said, you know what? I'm going to go work at Disney. How did you start? What brought you to the company?
One day I decided I want to change my role. I was working on a bank. I have previous experience as a teacher at university and then changed to a bank. And one day I wanted to start doing things with data, but in another industry. And I saw the recruitment post, and I just sent my email with my curriculum vitae. I had to be honest. I didn't know that Disney has offices in Latin America. I know Disney about for the movies, for the products, for all the things that I was consuming as a consumer, but I didn't know they were in the region. So I started working for a position for an analytics position in consumer engagement, and I love the company. And I decided I want to be here for a lot of time. And 9 years after that, I'm here.
In terms of the business, like what you do in terms of the data science, you're located in Argentina, but you're working with other business units, I imagine, probably within Latin America, correct?
Yes, in Latin America, we have most of the line of business that we have globally. We don't have parks, but we do have streaming, TV, theatrical, consumer products, all the line of business, even radio. And we have the main offices in Buenos Aires, but we have all of offices in Mexico, Brazil, in other countries of the region. And perhaps one thing that is very different in our region is that most of the team have a cross line of business scope. We support all the business, and the data team do that. For example, one day you are analyzing data from streaming, and the other day you are reading some data from theatrical or radio.
You mentioned that there are a lot of different business units. Then you're supporting those different business units. So you're within data science, and what exactly is data science? What do you do on a day to day basis?
My current role today, I lead three verticals. One is that data science itself, which is the responsible of building models, create predictions, recommendations, all like that kind of stuff. But we also have a data engineering team in the same team, which is the responsible to integrate data, like bringing the data from different data sources to a unique database and maintaining it so the data scientist can use the data and it's in the correct order. And we have also a vertical of innovation that is like using all the resources from data science and also data engineering. And we try to create solutions to improve the day-to-day activities of other teams with using data. Of course, you always have data behind every project.
What is the favorite part of your job? What do you enjoy doing?
The most I enjoy is learning from my team and from others. I have so talent people in my team that knows a lot of things, and I enjoy sitting in a meeting room and start thinking how we can solve the problem, how we can create this solution, and a lot of new knowledge came to the table, and I love that.
That's great to hear. Has there been a favorite thing you've learned during your 9 years with Disney? Is there something that has surprised you, or you thought I didn't know that?
Disney teach me a lot of things, but something I learned was to adapt to the changes. I mean, when I work in a bank, I have a role and it was well defined. And when I think I was tired or I have learned enough, I decided to change and then go to the move to another role. At Disney, you can do it, of course, it's true, but sometimes the whole industry changed and you have to adapt. So I think I learned to quickly adapt and to find new things to learn. And I think that's the most important thing I learned in Disney.
You have a skill set, right, that helps you do what you do best. What do you think someone going into data sciences, what skills do they need to be successful in that?
There are some technical skills that you have to have, but they are changing all the time. For example, when I build models or I work in a bank and I was an analyst and I have to build a model, I use another language. I have to put the models to run at the night because we didn't have the power that we have now in technology. And now all the languages are changing or the coding ways are changing. So I think it's most important to be curious and also to be like a self trainer to learn a lot and to look for information and to want to learn all the time, and then you are going to have to acquire all the technical skills.
In your 9 years at Disney, have you had a favorite memory, a project you worked on, something that really stands out for you? Like, I loved doing that.
I have a lot of great projects, but one project that I'm still part of it and we continue improving it is we create a data hub for the company for the region, a place where it's like a website where you can go and write a question regarding data or something with information behind, and you go there and you write a question in natural language, and this site can recommend you what to read, with what which report is going to answer your question, or which video you should see. So this project was great because of the technology behind it, but also because it helped to improve the data driven culture in the region and to democratize data and to like connect people with the information in a friendly way. So I love being part of it.
You said that your headquarters are in Argentina, so you're in the home office. What's it like working there? I've never been. I feel bad. I should go. It's like I was talking to somebody from Brazil the other day, and I'm like, I need to go. I need to. I know not only I've heard great food and great music, but I imagine it's probably a pretty fun environment.
It's a really nice office, and perhaps I don't realize it day to day because I've been there. But when someone new come to the office, they are like, wow, very surprised. You can see like Disney style in every corner. We have all the characters in the building. Their status, of course, they are not real, but we have, for example, from Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, Stormtroopers to Forky and Buddy, and we have Buzz Lightyear, and of course the Avengers, and all the meeting rooms have designs also, and it's a very friendly environment also. It's a really nice office.
So you have been with Disney for 9 years. You probably had a lot of different leaders that you've worked with in time. I've always found I've learned so much from leaders that I take like little pieces of them. Has a leader made an impact in your life? Have you learned something that you take with you and use every day?
Yes, I have a lot of leaders, and I learn, like you say, a little bit of each one of them. But I have one particular leader that surprised me. I was working with her for a short period of time. She was based in Miami, and one day I remember I was full of projects and things, and I came to a meeting like doing catharsis and saying, I can't do this, I can't do that. And she calmed me down and said, well, Ellie, what can I do for you? My job is to make your life easy so you can work and do the projects. So I understood what was the leader role really, to make, like, moving all the obstacles from the middle to keep the team do the things, because I know my team do things better than me. Of course, they are better doing models, doing integrations, doing a lot of things. So my role is to help them to keep working. So try to solve all the problems, and I think that's what I learned from her, and it makes me, I think, a better leader.
No, I agree. I think it's that service leadership, right? And the idea that as a leader, I want to take care of those things that maybe are a challenge, right, for my team, and try to remove some of those things so they can really focus on what they do best. So, somebody, you've been with Disney 9 years. What are you looking forward to this year? What, you'll be coming up. You're coming up on your 10 years, right, with the company. So, what are you looking forward to?
I think that entertainment industry has changed a lot, as you said. Now we have streaming. Some years ago, we have to wait for to see a movie in the cinema. Now you can choose whether to see it in a big screen or in the cinema, or in the living room of your house in the TV, or in the bus on your cell phone. So I think it has changed a lot, but the technology, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, there's a lot of things out there that I think that probably will change the whole experience of the entertainment industry and how our consumers interact with our brand property content. So I really need to see how it's going to be, how technology will change and improve the experience of consuming content, and or movies or series or whatever.
My question for you is, if you could summarize your Disney experience in just one word, what would that word be?
Creativity, because even though I work with data, you have to be creative, and it's also all around me since I joined the company. So I think that's the word.
And yeah, that's a great word. Well, Eliana, I really do appreciate you taking time to share your story today about your role in Argentina. It's fascinating that you're some part of the other world, and yet Disney stories still resonate and still connect with you each and every day, and with people who live in Latin America who love Disney stories just the same, and you help create those solutions. I really appreciate your time today.
Great, thank you for having me and for this conversation. It was great.
That was Eliana, Senior Manager with Data Science based in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And now for our next guest, we're headed to Sao Paulo, Brazil to spend some time with Jacque. She's a manager with Business Analytics. Her role entails transforming data into actionable strategic insights. I'm so glad to have you here, Jacque, and I'm excited to learn more about you and the magic you create. Jacque, I'm so glad to see you today.
Glad to see you too.
So here we are. You've been with Disney now 3.5 years. Can you tell us about your Disney career? How did you start? How did you get to what you do today?
Basically, I started with the company, as you mentioned, like 3.5 years ago. I started as a supervisor in the streaming analytics team in Brazil, looking at all metrics within the platform in the country. This happened at a moment when Disney streaming was about to launch in Brazil, and I had just been laid off from another company during the pandemic. So I knew I wanted to join Disney because of all these childhood memories, and also because this great opportunity of starting from the ground up of streaming in Brazil, which was like the first direct-to-consumer product in the country. And I love working in the startup environment, so I thought that was the opportunity for me. And having some backgrounds always in analytics or sales ops, that really drove me to this job role. And now I'm here.
And some folks watching this may not be aware that, I mean, Disney is a worldwide company. I mean, there's operations around the world, and you're based in Latin America. So you're based out of Sao Paulo in Brazil. You said, you are looking at analytics, and I think it's your title, your manager of partner analytics. For those that may not know, what exactly does that mean? What do you do?
So partner analytics is basically a segment within business analytics department within this huge umbrella that we call BI. And here we oversee all the partners that offer bundled products with our streaming platform. So our focus is just to grab all the historical data in all these different areas of focus, which we call acquisition or engagement of the platform, retention, and we use that information to transform it into actionable insights.
But it helps probably to be informed, right? I think that's one thing I've always loved working at Disney. You get all this great research, all this great insight, and it helps you work smarter, right? It helps you make smarter decisions about what you want to do in the future, maybe talk about some of the successes in the past. I can imagine that's quite a thrill to see how these things kind of play out as you get into the different partnerships.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's also a lot of different areas where we can move and learn from within streaming. It's not only from different departments. And even within the partners, we see different trends, not only in comparison to our direct consumer, but each partner has specific customers that behave a certain way. So it's always fun to understand how these customers behave. Another point is that it's interesting to be more of a front-faced analytics. So we get to talk a lot to our partners, not only our internal stakeholders. So every day we're learning with our partners because they have their experiences, and we exchange with their BI team. And also we exchange with the people from our internal stakeholders, our collaborators in the company.
And when you talk about streaming, so let's talk about that. I mean, gosh, I know how... There's not a day goes by when I'm not tuning into Disney Plus, because there seems like there's something always on. That are we talking about Disney Plus? Are we talking about other streaming services that are offered in Latin America?
Yeah, so our main product is Disney Plus, but we also have Star Plus and the combo bundle offer, what we call the bundle of Disney Plus, Star Plus. And so these are the products that we analyze within the platform.
So you've been, working with this for a couple of years now. What do you like about the job? I mean, what is it that brings you joy each and every day?
The main thing that brings me joy is that every day is a different day, and I learn something new every single day because within 3 years, I've gone through 3 different roles, but also within these roles, I'm always learning something. And in streaming digital world, everything is so dynamic and fast paced, and everything can change from 1 minute to the other. So I like having this thrill, this adrenaline. So that's what I most like about my job.
And you've been a part of, again, you said you were a supervisor and you've gone on to, these other things. Have you been a part of a project or something that you've really felt you took a lot of pride in, something you did at Disney that you're like, I was a part of that?
Yeah, so it was actually an analytics project with one of our main partners, basically just to understand how we can reduce involuntary churn and be able to attain more of our subscribers within our base. It was the first time we did this analysis. And so having to create this methodology and trying to see with the partner if the data makes sense, because we receive data from the partners, which is not complete as the data that we have internally from our direct consumer product. Anyways, just summarizing all the story, it was very exciting to be part of this project because having this analysis made to reduce involuntary churn and to increase what we call the grace period, it really helped implement the same tests in other countries of this partner, which is pretty huge in more than 3 or 4 countries. And it also helped retain our subscribers.
You mentioned, you're in Brazil. You're in the Sao Paulo office. So what's it like there? What's it like working in Brazil?
Honestly, it's amazing. First of all, I love the office. Unfortunately, you haven't been able to visit our office, but it has been recently revamped. So we have a lot of spaces, coffee spaces, couches, a decompression room where we were able to exchange with colleagues. And I think that's important, not only to talk about work-related things, but also to talk about non-work related topics, because it's good to have a pause. Everyone says, oh, you work at Disney, it must be so much fun, but it's actually a lot of work. So having these decompression spaces, they're really helpful. And I also think that the culture is it has a very respectful culture. And also I feel very united with the team. It sometimes may seem overwhelming because there's so many internal stakeholders in Brazil, in Argentina, in the US, everywhere. We can talk to Disney globally. And everyone that I've spoken to has been so open to talk and help out. That really makes a difference in the work environment.
Yeah, that's the thing. I love the team concept, right? And I imagine you've worked with some great people, I know I have 25 years. I've met so many wonderful people, great leaders, I think that have taught me a lot. Have you learned any lessons along your journey at Disney?
Yeah, I've met a lot of amazing people. There's one specific that I even call her like mom because she's like a mom figure to the team. And I think that the main lesson that I've learned here is resilience. Because I've changed a different scope of responsibility 3 times in a little bit over 3 years. And there's always needs that evolve for our internal stakeholders. And so it's important always to keep this resilience in order to keep up with all these changing demands. But at the same time, I'm really lucky that I feel like Disney is also a very humane company. So we have a couple benefits such as recharge days or moving days. These are really helpful. Also, I feel like the leadership that I have, they enforce also this work-life balance. So for me, it's really helpful and important to be part of a company that focuses also in work-life balance.
I agree. I like the fact that we do focus so much on wellness, and because it is work. We are the life at Disney is you're spending your time doing stuff at work, but that bringing that balance and being able to help re-energize yourself, refocus and everything is something that I've really I think I've appreciated from the company as well. But you could work at any company in the world. I mean, and you've had experience prior to Disney as well. But what was it about Disney that drew you to this company?
For me, there were 2 factors. One that's personal and the other one that's professional. The personal one is basically because Disney was such an important part of my childhood. Having movies such as Mulan, that was super important for me. And being able to work in a company that I admire so much really was one of the most important factors. And the second one is a professional one. So being part of such an important milestone at Disney as the launch of streaming in Brazil was extremely important for me. So I love that startup environment and being part of a company where I admire and that I actually consume. So I'm very grateful to be able to join both of them.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, there's stories that connect all of us, right? I mean, there's something, you have a favorite film, you have a favorite show, you have a favorite, memory from that, and it's like that. There's just something that transcends that. So here, somebody might be watching this and they're thinking to themselves, "Man, I want to do what she's doing. Like, how do I get involved with this?" Well, what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to build a career like yours?
There are a lot of different areas of specialization within BI, with different profiles that can range from more technical areas such as data science, which involves like handling structured and unstructured data, advanced analytics, machine learning, and so forth, to analytics, which is the area that I'm at, which typically deals with more structured data, and involves a more specialized focus, such as business analytics or retention analytics, marketing analytics. But in both cases, they all involve working with data to gain insights and make informed decisions. So what I would recommend is to have your bases covered. So understanding databases, building that technical skill first. So programming languages such as SQL and Python, familiarizing yourself with analytics and data visualization tools such as Tableau and so forth. Those are super important. And also gaining hands-on experience, because it's also key to understand what type of field fits you best, together with your interests and strengths. Because at least for me, I went through a lot of types of analysis in different fields, such as hospitality, sales, and I found myself within streaming. So I'm really happy here, and I want to continue at Disney for a long time.
And it's interesting to think about those languages. It's an entire. I have such admiration for those folks that can understand that. I am not. I know myself, my career. I'm not going to be going into that field. I'm glad you do what you do, because I like, like there's other things I like about working at Disney. But that's the neat part, is that, depending on your experience and depending on your skill set, you could find your place at Disney. You could find that thing that really drives in that passion for what you do each and every day. From that. So what's next for you? What are you looking forward to this coming year?
What I'm really looking forward to is to continue seeing how Disney impacts people's lives, and how we can see our own backgrounds and our own experiences in these Disney movies. I think it's super important. And professionally, I want to continue growing within the company, because it's a very united family here in the office, and great environment to work in, which is something that is rare to see, such a united team. And these are people that I'm going to take for a lot of people. I'm going to take for my entire life as friends outside the company, but hopefully I'll stay within the company for a long time.
It is interesting to think about. Like, I think back to my friends I made when I first joined, and I still am friends with them. Like, our careers have gone in different paths, right? We've done different things in Disney, but we still remain friends. And I think that's the neat part about there are so many opportunities from that. I have another question here for you. If you could summarize your Disney experience in just one word, what would that word be?
It's going to be very cliche, but I'd say magical.
It's not cliche. It is magical.
Yeah, it is magical, because, of course, not everything is, we have to work a lot. Also, it's not only fun. And when we talk about having like a family here at the company, but I'm very grateful to be in a humane company that also helps work-life balance, that has a team that's very helpful, not only our local team, but everywhere globally. We can connect in a very open and fun way. So magical is the word.
Magical is a great word, because that's what we do best, right? And I wish you a very magical career. 3.5 years. You have a little bit more to go before you can get to 25.
I
but
know.
You'll be there before you know. Well, Jacque, I really do appreciate you taking time to speak with me today about your Disney experience, and I really appreciate you just sharing your story.
Thank you, Steven. Thanks for having me here.
If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want to learn more about how to make Disney a part of your story, follow us at Disney Careers on all social platforms or visit DisneyCareers.com. Stay tuned for our next episode and keep dreaming and keep doing.